Hi, welcome to Surviving Disruption. This channel is for my busy moms who are feeling stressed out and but disruptions in our life, like having children. It's a happy disruption. And but there are so many things that go along with being a mom that can add these disruptions. And so that's what this channel is about. And I'm Stacy Johnson. I'm a woman empowerment coach, and I help busy, overwhelmed moms feel patient and connected to themselves so they feel more in control and more in calm. So that they are being the best version of themselves for their children, so they feel that they are, doing all the right things and not feeling this impatience and arguing with their children. So today's topic is about that overwhelmed feeling, that stress. Have you ever noticed your chest feeling tight? Feeling like almost like something is sitting on top of it, or your jaw. You wake up and you are like, man, why does my jaw feel tight? Or why does it feel like I've been chewing gum for 3 days? Well, that is, or your shoulders feeling like there's just all this tightness. That's stress showing up in your body. And sometimes we don't even realize that we've had this stress building up. I remember when I was, this was many, many years ago, my kids were very busy in activities and I was working full time at home or working full time out of the home. And I had this, it felt like a pinched nerve or just this muscle spasm going on all the time in my shoulders. It hurt to turn. Like I just felt like I slept on it wrong. And this went on for a month before I realized like I probably need to go to the doctor. Going to the doctor didn't really solve anything because I thought, okay, just give me a muscle relaxer and things will get better. Well, the muscle relaxer didn't change anything. I was taking ibuprofen like there was no tomorrow. I went into physical therapy, spent tons of money on copays for them ultimately finally say that it was stress. So a lot of my time and my money was being wasted when all I really needed to do was learn how to relax more and be connected to myself so that I wouldn't allow all of these little daily disruptions to add up. So, stress is sneaky. It can look like, sometimes trouble sleeping, um, snapping at loved ones. It can be stomach issues. Like I have a lot of my clients that may have IBS or maybe forgetting things like often. And you forget maybe simple things. There was a time when would walk up the stairs and be like, why did I come upstairs? Well, that was because I was in this overthinking. And we talked about overthinking in our last episode. And then there are, all these stress things can hang around in our body. And it can build, and it can make us feel drained, disconnected, like we're not connecting with our families very much, and doubting ourselves. All of these kind of things are the stress, and they're the daily little disruptions that can build on itself. And before we go any farther, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any more, any of these other trainings that I provide, or when I go live, you'll make sure that you are notified through notifications if you subscribe to this channel. So let's take a quick look about what are the different types of stress. There's acute stress, and those are quick bursts. Those are those little daily disruptions when something unexpected happens, like your toddler spills juice on the couch right before company is arriving. That's acute stress. Once it's done, like once you clean it up, it is, that stress is gone. But it is a that's just a little disruption that can kind of throw you off. And then there's those episodic stress. And those bursts of little disruptions that get ignored and they become more frequent. So, like when you rush every morning to get your kids out the door for school, those are the episodic stress. So it's happening every morning, and then there's the chronic stress. When we've ignored all the other signs and it continues to build and we deal with it day in and day out. And that is when it's like you take on everybody else's, like you're managing everybody else's life, on top of yours. That's what I call us busy, overwhelmed moms. We're the CEOs of our household. So we're managing everybody's schedule, and that can be very overwhelming and take a toll on our body. And each one of these different types of stress have an impact on our body and our emotions and our choices or our reactions to, people or events. Stress isn't just in your head, it's in our nervous system, it's in our body, and it's saying, like, I don't feel safe. And it's designed to protect you. So, and that's a whole different lesson in regards to how the stress builds up, in regards to our, the stress hormone and, all that medical kind of stuff. But all you need to know is that it's not just about, overthinking things. It's also how we react to these daily disruptions. But when we ignore the signs that our body is trying to tell us that we are stressed, then, that's when it continues to build on each other. And and your body is trying to do what it's designed to do. It's trying to protect you. And, but it can easily be switched on too, like those daily disruptions, like the toddler spilling the juice. It can get switched on with that kind of event. But if we ignore it, then it builds and it keeps us in this like survival mode. It just keeps us like, just keep doing instead of letting us live with patience and calmness. So I am going to share some somatic techniques. I have been trained in somatic therapy in my past, when I've been dealing with, I'm a therapist as well. And so every year I have to go to trainings, and I was trained in somatic therapy. And so each time I go live, I am going to pull some cards. And what I want you to do is choose the card number, and that's the technique that I want you to practice and see if it helps. Use this. I've noticed a huge change. I've been doing some routines every day now, and it's been for a couple months that I've added this routine. Now, I remind you, I've been a therapist. I know how to manage stress. But even as a therapist, I ignored my own body for years and just thought that if I kept pushing through, it would be fine. And that's how I ended up with, ignoring the first signs that I was overwhelmed and stressed. My neck, like I dealt with that tight neck for a couple months before I was like, okay, it's stress. What do I need to do? So now I've noticed a huge change. Like the other day, I saw 10 clients in the whole day. A year ago, 10 clients in one day would have made me so exhausted at the end of the night that I would have snapped at someone asking me a question, or I would have, done anything just to close my eyes. But now that I've been doing some of my own, techniques, I'm noticing that day, I did not feel exhausted. I was able to, finish what I needed to do. I was able to, watch a TV show with my daughter and not feel like I needed to snap if something was asked of me. So again, what I want you to do is I'm going to grab 3 cards, and this is not going to be, these are things that you can add into your day, because as busy moms, we want things that we can add in to our daily routines. That's not going to take much time. And we don't want to have to spend a lot of money, because being a mom, we're doing all those things. We spend a lot of time doing everything for everybody else. And we're just busy. And so the techniques that I'm going to be sharing each live that I go on are going to be quick techniques that you can do right in the middle of your workday, or in the evening hours when you're with the kids, or whenever. You can add it to your daily schedule at any time. So pick the number 1, 2, or 3. And I'm going to give 3 different techniques. Okay, so we've picked through the somatic techniques. All right. So if you've picked card number 1, this is what you'll try this week. It's the 4-7-8 breath. So the 4-7-8 breathing technique consists of inhaling for 4 seconds, holding the breath for 7 seconds, and exhaling for 8. This method is designed to alleviate anxiety and aid in falling asleep. So if you're one of those busy moms that are having a hard time falling asleep, this might be the technique that you need to use before you go to bed. It falls under the category of Pranayama, a breath control practice commonly found in yoga. Okay, so that is what you need to do. So again, you're going to practice, and you're going to breathe in for 4, hold it for 7, and then release for 8. Okay. If you picked card number 2, this is guided imagery. So it's a relaxation technique that involves visualizing a peaceful and calming image or scenario to promote relaxation and reduce stress. So this practice engages the mind power to create a sensory-rich experience, helping to achieve a state of mental and physical relaxation. So when you close your eyes, envision this, visualization in your head. It can be something, maybe it's somewhere that you want to visit, or maybe it's somewhere that you've gone before, or maybe it's just a space in your home that has you feel relaxed. Whatever vision you see, put yourself really there and get involved in all the senses. What do you smell there? What do you hear? What do you see? What do you feel? If there's a taste, what does it taste like? So involve all of your senses, so you want to choose your peaceful scenery, start the visualization, and get all of those details in there, and then, like I said, you want to engage all the senses. So if it's a beach, visualize the blue sky, hear the waves crashing, feel the warmth of the sun, smell the salty air, taste the ocean breeze. And as you immerse yourself in the scene, allow your body to relax further. Imagine the tension melting away with each exhale. Spend a few minutes exploring this peaceful place in your mind, letting yourself fully experience the calm and serenity. And then you're going to return to the present. When you're ready, you'll finish visualizing, and slowly bring your awareness back to that present moment. And take a few deep breaths, gently wiggle your fingers and toes, and then open your eyes. And card number 3 is push the wall. So pushing the wall is a simple and versatile exercise for upper body strength, targeting our arms, chest, and shoulders. So it can be adapted for various fitness levels and goals, offering a convenient way to build muscle without equipment or a gym. So you're going to stand facing a wall with your feet and shoulder width apart, ensuring stability. You'll place your palms flat against the wall at shoulder height, spreading fingers for a better grip. You'll engage your core muscles and push against the wall, focusing on pressing evenly with both hands. Hold that position briefly, feeling the resistance in your arms and chest. And you're going to repeat this movement for 8 to 12 reps, maintaining controlled and steady pushes. Increase the intensity gradually as needed for progression, pushing with more force. So remember to breathe evenly throughout the exercise to oxygenate your muscles, and focus on maintaining proper form and alignment, keeping the spine straight and shoulders relaxed. So those are 3 quick, techniques that you can add to your busy day. And in the comments, let me know which card you picked and if you practiced it for the week or a couple days and how did it feel for you. And make sure, again, that you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss anything. And in the show notes is my calendar link. You can book a free call with me, and we can talk a little bit more about the stress that you're feeling and some steps to relieve that, stress and find your patience and calmness. Also, there's a free guide that you are welcome to download. It is my Calm and Focus Breakthrough Kit. And again, it gives you some tips to help you find that calm. And then I'm going to be starting a program October 20th, which is for that inner critic that comes along with being a busy working mom. And, because when we're busy and when we're stressed, we talked a little bit about the overthinking last time, that we can get these internal messages that are not helpful. And so, like when I can remember being, a busy mom and wondering if I was doing it good enough and what other people's perception was. And so those internal messages are going to be addressed in my upcoming program starting in October. So you can go to that link as well. All right. I will see you next week for some more powerful tips to help busy, overwhelmed moms.